To the channel today. We're going to try to shoot a video, but it's raining if you can hear it. I don't know how it's going to show up on the video or whatever. This camera's been pretty good so far. I don't think it'll be an issue as far as sound. We're going to go ahead and try it and see what we come up with. Alright, so today we're going to do an episode of What's in the Box. I have a couple of things. I got a little bag. Well, I did a video about installing the wastegate on the BMW 335i, and what I was thinking the wastegate, how it applied, is not actually accurate. I'm going to actually go back. I don't have the information on me, but it's not like the way I explained. It's not that exactly, and I was wrong on that. But I had a gentleman catch me on it, but I didn't know. I don't 100% know, you know. But he did give me the correct information on the spring the BMW is called for, and it's actually an 11-pound. So I did order an 11-pound spring. So that's what this should be, is my 11-pound spring to replace the one that's in the BMW. That way I can get the accurate spring pressure, and that way I'm not having issues with my turbos backing up and not being able to vent the air correctly. So I did order a new spring, and that's what this actually is. It's from a company called Mamba, and it's shopmambatech.com. The card's kind of chopped up, and I may have actually cut it just now, but I don't know if you can see that. Shopmambatech.com, and that's where I got the spring from. So we're going to actually change that spring out in the BMW 335i to get the correct spring pressure. So 11 pounds is what you're wanting in that, as far as the correct spring. So I've got that now. We'll get that changed out. I've not actually been driving that car very much, so for that very reason I've been trying to figure out what the spring pressure is, and I did find it's 11 pounds. And so that's what we got. And that car actually needs an oil change too. So, and I think I only gave I'm thinking maybe 10, 12 bucks, something like that for the spring. And the cool thing is, it's the tile design, so I can usually, if I upgrade to a tile, I can still use these springs, and that should be the correct spring, even if I buy the aftermarket or more quality brands like tile and the style of that. You know, these will actually work in those. So if you have the BMW 335i, the ideal spring pressure for the blow-off valve, rather, is not wastegate. The blow-off valve is 11 psi on the blow-off valve. That's the ideal for the blow-off valve. So with that being said, that's done. We're ready to change that thing out. I actually got an oil change. That thing's a little low on oil, so I haven't driven it in a day or two. Plus we've been working a ton. We're about to get that rental under control down there. And well, we went drifting, my son and I. Had a good time, getting a lot better, a lot better. Well, he and I both broke, and what we ended up having was he had a power steering line bust rupture, and we've got it replaced already. We just got to put the fluid in it. But I had the clutch go out, which it was questionable when we put it in, but I didn't have one to replace it with at the time. We wanted to go drifting, so now we've got a clutch. And we have let's get this stuff, just get it out of the box here. So we got a flywheel. Got the bearing, and we've got stuff flying everywhere, and we got the pressure plate. So I did order a clutch set. Vallejo tends to make factory components for these cars, and what I did is, that'll be my pilot bearing and my clutch tool. So what I did is I researched a little bit, and Vallejo makes a heavy duty clutch kit. So what I decided to do is get a Vallejo clutch kit, which is, like I say, the replacement, but it's the heavy duty, so it's a step up. So it's like 385 foot-pound of torque on the Vallejo clutch kits. And so got that. Well, I added in a lightweight flywheel, and I can't remember what brand this was. I'm thinking it was possibly an off-brand. I can't remember right offhand. And so I did go ahead and get that. It's supposed to be like 18 pounds or 19 pounds or something like that. Instead of having the dual assembly, whatever, it's a single friction. No, it's not friction. It's but anyway, there's a two-part flywheel almost in this factory, and it goes to we went to a single on this thing, and so going to the single piece, it's thicker, and you can tell it's made kind of strange looking, but that's because it actually converts it over to just a single mass. That's a dual mass and single mass. So it just swaps over and changes over to a single mass. And so the actual dual has like a little bit of, I don't know if it's supposed to, but mine did, a little bit of movement in it. And we did notice the actual clutch disc had a burnt spot where maybe half of it had actually touched the surface of that flywheel. So we knew we would eventually have an issue, but I just wanted to get that thing on the track and run it. But we do now have brand new clutch. Like I say, it's the Vallejo heavy duty one. We'll give it a test and see how it does. And I think it's the Vallejo clutch disc, the heavy duty stuff, and then it came with the throw bearing and the pilot bearing, bushing. Some people, it's not actually a bearing, it's a bushing, and the clutch alignment tool. So that's a project we've got coming up real soon. So we're going to be changing the clutch kit on the G35, which we're still working on the rental. And we didn't go drifting this week because it's been our 2 weeks that we go. We didn't get a chance to. So in maybe 2 weeks or so, or a week if we can get it together, there's another place we've been looking at going. It's a lot more pricier, but we figured we're still entry level. Why spend a fortune, $100 to go drift? So we've been going to the cheaper ones, the 20 bucks, and if you don't actually drift, it's free to watch. I mean, they don't charge anything to ride or watch. And it's a figure 8 track. It's a pretty cool little track. It's good for beginners. And then we're going to, the better we get, the more we're going to move into bigger stuff. But we're getting our cars broke in. We're learning our cars. We actually did really well this past weekend. It was the last weekend that we went, and so with him having power steering issues, with me having a clutch, I mean, it completely just was out. It wouldn't even pull. So I knew it was coming. I knew it was getting worse and worse. But yeah, so now we're moving on to a heavier duty clutch, and we're going to try to remedy that issue so we can get back on the track. And there you have it. That's what's in the box. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video today. I know it's just kind of short and sweet, but this is where we're at. I may do a little bit of an update here in a day or two to kind of fill you in on where we're at. We got some videos of the rental. We're going to check that thing out, kind of revisit that, and see where we're at with that. And at this point, we're pretty close. We should be done. It's Wednesday. We're trying to be done by Friday. I'm not sure that we will. Keep on fingers crossed that we will, and maybe trim it out or something. Come this next weekend or this weekend or whatever, and then we have to do this. We've got to jump on this thing, try to get it done. So stay tuned, we got a lot coming. Thanks, guys.